Shadow Zapdos is kinda one of those Pokemon that I always like to use just because you're going to have so many fun gameplay moments with this Pokemon, as it's going to be able to nearly one-shot everything. Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at Shadow Zapdos in the new meta of the Go Battle League. Today we're going to take a look especially of this Pokemon because there are a ton of flying type Pokemon available currently. You have them everywhere in the meta, and there are a ton of other Pokemon which you can really battle against as well. We're going to have a team here with two counter psychic type Pokemon in the back. We're going to have the Deoxys as a Sayswap here, and we have the Medicham on the back. While we're going to have the Thundershock version of the Zapdos here. This is a legacy move. You need to use an Elite Fast TM for your Shadow Zapdos to get this move. There's no other way actually. I think like it never got released as a Shadow Pokemon with that move otherwise. You might have the normal version. If you have the normal version, like you're going to have a little bit more bulk, which might be beneficial in some certain scenarios. What you kind of want to run then, I think, is Thunder instead of Thunderbolt, as far as I know. Thunderbolt is just, you get there a little bit faster towards it, and like with Thunder you have a little bit more damage output. Here my opponent actually going to throw against me, and it's going to be a Focus Blast for whatever reason, which helps me out quite a bit. I'm going to be able to go for one Psychic now against their Medicham. I have some extra energy stored as well, and I should be able to reach another move in time as well, hopefully. As we're going to see the opponent going for the Psychic, I don't reach another move here, but you know me, we're going to have the Shadow Zapdos here anyway with some moves stored already. Drill Peck going to destroy this Medicham, and this is not going to be all. We're going to also destroy the opponent's Registeel here, having a clean sweep with Zapdos, beating all three Pokemon of the opponent with my Zapdos, which is amazing. This is why we want to have it in the lead. We're going to see a Pelipper against us. We're going to go straight for the Thunderbolt here. Main reason for this in the scenario is we will be able to do a ton of damage against them, and what we can also do is we can catch a move on our Deoxys here. This will allow us to get some extra energy. If we didn't get debuffed, I think we might have been able to farm them all the way down. We definitely would have been able to farm all the way down, but sadly we got debuffed. But we will at least still be able to realign our Pokemon. We have access to the move Thunderbolt, which would knock out the opponent's Pelipper, and we actually get back the Pelipper onto this matchup here, which is fine for us. We can take the move from them. It's going to be the Weather Bolt, and we can align our Zapdos here again, but it's kind of a little bit tricky because they outspeed me as well. But we see a Stunfisk in the back. We're going to go ahead and shield up their move here, which is going to be most likely the Earthquake, and we're going to try to farm them most of the way down there, but they're actually going to surrender before as well. Maybe I shouldn't have shielded the move. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was a little bit of a tricky scenario there, but we will see here a team. I don't know. I don't like it. It's the thing here. It just the thing being a YouTuber and doing some very decent teams. Of course, this is definitely a viewer, like most likely a viewer at least, that copied my team that you might have seen already earlier. Kind of went pretty viral for its ish because it was actually a really good team, and we just got completely get hardwalled here. We're going to see the Trevenant against us. You know already. We saw the Bastion already, so we know already what they have in the back, which is going to be the Medicham. So there's not a lot that we can do here. We have to take this move here. It's going to be a Seed Bomb as far as I know. But there is not a lot that we can do here. They're going to have the Medicham in the back. This is the team that I showcased a little bit earlier already, and it's definitely one of the strongest team that you can run right now. If you need a good team and you have those Pokemon available to you, definitely would recommend you to run the team that the opponent runs here. Unlike the team that I'm showcasing here right now, the team that the opponent runs is definitely a very strong team that will win you a ton of battles as well. This team here still for me worked out pretty well. I did some battles with Zapdos earlier as well before I used this team with a different team, and it didn't went that well because most people were pretty much hardwalling flying types with their backline. So that's why I swapped the Zapdos into the lead. But I ran before was, I think, Medicham, Noctowl, and the Zapdos. A lot of people were warning this. Here, sadly, I kind of count the opponent's move. They're going to go for one Body Slam, but maybe I can catch the next one. It's not the biggest issue then, and yeah, we will be able to catch the next one. We will have two moves stored already on our Zapdos, and we will get the Charizard out of the way, which is pretty nice for my fighter later on. This will knock them out if they would let this move go through, but of course they're going to go ahead and throw the charge move here. And the funniest thing about this one is this opponent doesn't learn the move Blast Run, I guess. They don't know about it, or they don't want to run it. and therefore we will be able to take one Dranclaw with our very squishy flying electric bird here with Zapdos. We will be able to go for one Drill Peck, and we see the Miltank coming back in. Let's see how much damage is this Thunderbolt going to do. A ton of damage, as we do like in general, like this thing just nukes nearly everything. They're going to surrender here as well. It's going to be a very good game. Next opponent, we will see Obstagoon in the lead. We have two counter users in the back. We're going to swap out immediately into our Deoxys. For this scenario, we're going to have the Thunderbolt against the Hypno here. I always like, by the way, if you have coverage for the main type, like for the first type, on the second Pokemon that you say swap in. For example, here we have an electric type in the lead, which most likely going to counter those flying plus also those water types. And then we're going to have the Say Swap here of the Deoxys, which has also access to Thunderbolt, which allows you to get basically the same coverage, but most likely going to bait out those Pokemon that you don't want to face with a lead, like which they don't want to face with your lead, which is going to be the Zapdos. So it's kind of a very nice one there. We will actually be able to farm them all the way down, which is important, as we see another Toxic Roll coming in here. This is totally okay for us. This is only a Mud Bomb. They went for it way too fast, so I don't have to shield anything. I can go for my own Psychic. This Psychic will get the final shield by the opponent, and as long as I will be able to get rid of the opponent's Toxic Rogue, I will be able to win this game here. Even though the lead wasn't the most ideal lead that we could face, the Psychic will be able to knock out the opponent's Toxic Rogue, and I will be able to go ahead, counter down a little bit. They can go for one charge move, I don't really care. I will be able to now swap into my Zapdos, and I will finish them off with one Thunderbolt, knocking them straight out of this matchup here. As this Thunderbolt, like Shadow Zapdos, if you didn't know, like the damage of this thing is kinda insane. We will see next opponent, Registeel in the lead again. I have two counter type users in the back, so what I usually do against Registeel is I just going to save some energy here and try to swap on the charge move. If they have a Sableye in the back, you kinda really want to have the energy there and with your lead, or now we have, for example, the Trevenant in the back, which is basically the same. For me, definitely a good matchup now for me that I have got rid of. I mean, that I have a ton of energy on this Pokemon here already. I will be able to hit this Drill Peck, going to get the shield from the opponent. I can go for a shield on my own. They're going to go for the Seed Bomb bait. I can go for another throw, like another charge move here, and they're going to let this move go through, which allows me now to go for some charge moves against the opponent's Altaria. This is a little bit tricky. I have to go for one Drill Peck here. I have to hope that they're going to let this move go through, and they're going to give me the damage on them. They're actually going to catch on the Registeel, but I don't really mind this. I will be able to go into my Medicham now. You see the counter damage going to add up, and usually the issue is for you with a Medicham that you still have to throw against Registeel. The matchup isn't as clear, but I will be able to just get to two Ice Punches here. Sadly, they got the debuff, which actually hurt me a little bit more, but it's fine, as we can go ahead and go for one Ice Punch against them. We can go for another one against them, and this will get them low enough that we will be able to farm them all the way down here. Very good game to my opponent, as we see the Dunsparce from the next opponent in the lead here. Dunsparce also has access to rollout like the Miltank earlier. We will be able to go into our Deoxys defense, which definitely can take those moves pretty easily here. We will be able to take the next one as well. They're actually going to stay in here. You see that my counter damage basically does as much as their charge move damage is doing. We see a Charm user coming in here with the Wigglytuff, and we will be able to go ahead and go for still one Psycho Boost. Sadly not. We have to go back into our Zapdos here. We will be able to go for another charge move here as well. We're going to get the shield from the opponent. If they go for another one here, I will be able to swap out now afterwards. This will be getting shielded as well, and I'm going to swap into my Medicham now. At this point of time, I just kind of want to get an energy advantage against them. I can shield up every single move, and we're going to see a Noctowl in the back, which is amazing. This is why you currently kind of have to still run Ice Punch on Medicham. I saw some comments about, oh, we don't have Nidoqueen as often, we don't really need Ice Punch, but you have way more Flying type Pokemon available, so Ice Punch is definitely still the way to go. We're going to go straight for the Psychic here, which does a little bit more than Ice Punch, which will knock out the Noctowl. I think otherwise it would still get to another move. As we see the opponent coming in here now with their Dunsparce. We're going to try to catch the move, didn't work out, but what also didn't work out is the farm down from my opponent here, as we can still get to one Drill Peck, knocking out the opponent's Dunsparce, and the Wigglytuff doesn't have another charge move stored. Very good game there. Next opponent, let's see. We will see the next opponent coming in here with Zapdos against Ninetales. Again, a pretty horrible lead because they have either Charm or the move Powder Snow. Neither of them are something that I really want to face. I will be able to go for one Thunderbolt, getting a shield immediately from the opponent here with their Ninetales. I can go ahead and go now for another charge move here with my Deoxys defense, going for one Psycho Boost. We'll get them pretty low as we see the Stunfisk coming in here. I still have to build a better Deoxys defense, but I still don't have a good one for Great League. You cannot trade them, but there are some better IV spreads for it. Like, I think the IV spreads in general don't really make such a big difference anyway. I might see if I have like one that has a ton of HP, because HP is, I think, the most important stat for the Deoxys defense to have, because your defense stat is always so high. Like, the IVs don't really make such a big difference there, but in terms of the HP that you have a very low HP rank, so you're most likely going to get more benefits from having a very high HP one for the Deoxys. We will see a Swampert here in the back. This can be a little bit tricky. Let's see what we can do here. We will be able to go for one more Drill Peck. I don't think it will really help me to shield this next move up here, so I'm going to rely on the counter damage that I can do with my Medicham. Let's see if this was a smart play or not. We will be able to shield up the next charge move by the opponent here, going to be a Hydrokin, of course, as we can go for the full counter down. We will be able to counter them down. Can we still win this game? We cannot, sadly. We don't survive one more charm here, so good game to my opponent. Seems like a lot of Charmers around right now. We see an opponent against us in the lead. We can go ahead and go into our Deoxys, and we see another Charmer. I don't know why, but I went ahead against all the Charm users, and my team is very weak against Charm. Like, I didn't really expect to face any Charmer because they kinda got extinct with a recent update. But yeah, like, I have literally one of the squishiest Pokemon in the game on the lead there. We have a fighting type in the back, and we don't have anything that really does a great amount of damage against those fairy types either. But this looks fine, as we will be able to knock out the opponent's Wigglytuff here with our Zapdos, as we see the opponent coming in now with their own Ninetales. I don't think I can go for one Thunderbolt, so I have to go for one Drill Peck. Drill Peck is all I need anyway, as this will do a ton of damage. I can go ahead and go into my Medicham. What I'm just going to do here is I'm going to shield this move up. I can farm them down, and I should be able to also still have enough health and energy left to knock out the opponent's Empoleon here. Is this Psychic going to do some pretty nice damage. We will be able to shield up the next move, so well going to be the Drill Peck coming through, and we will be able to win this game here against this double Charm team. Next opponent, let's see what they can do here. We're going to see Medicham in the lead. This is a pretty nice lead. I kind of sometimes misplay this a little bit, but here they're actually going to opt to go into their Lapras. I misplay this here definitely, because I'm going to go ahead and go into my Deoxys. I should have most likely went into my Medicham, as I would have been able to farm them down a little bit easier, as counter is Stab for me, and I think they wouldn't have got to another move. Like this, I'm forced to throw a charge move, which is going to be my Thunderbolt. But luckily, actually, they're going to have the Sableye in the back, so it's definitely something I kind of want to face here, getting the shield, which is kind of nice for me. Let's see if we actually still have a chance here to still win this. We will be able to go ahead and go for one Drill Peck hopefully soon. They're gonna go for one Foul Play. I can go for my Drill Peck immediately. Do they let this move go through or not? Let's see. They're going to shield up. Can I still get to another one is the question here, as we see the opponent going for one Foul Play. I will be able to go ahead and catch my move on the opponent's Medicham here. And in this game, I remember I make a huge mistake. I kind of tried to play it nicely, but then kind of didn't play it too consistently. I was also insanely tired today, so I kind of take this as an excuse for me not playing this perfect. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see that the Psychic of them going to do some nice damage. I know that the Ice Punch doesn't really knock them out yet, so I will be able to go ahead and go for a little bit of an undercharge now. And I should have let them farm me down a little bit more. They got 2 Shadow Claws in here, and this is exactly 1 Shadow Claw too much. I should have let them farm me down a little bit more. Even if they would have got to farm me down here, I would have been still fine, because I could have farmed them down back then with my Zapdos. But yeah, I misplayed this a little bit. But yeah, it's still okay. We will see here the opponent having a Kofake Regas in the lead. Not ideal for my backline, but okay for my lead at least. I will be able to go for one shield. They're going to already take some damage against me, and we will see a Bomber Snow coming in here. I don't know if I should have went into... Nah, I think this is the right call to go into my Medicham here, but it's definitely an awkward scenario for me here right now. I will be able to go for one charge move here with my Ice punch coming through, knocking out the opponent before they can get to another charge move. I can still get to another ice punch here as well. We'll be able to get the shield from my opponent, I think. I will be able to get the shield from the opponent, and I will be able to go for another drill peck against them. This will allow me to knock them actually out here, which is crazy, so they didn't shield, which is very nice for me. And we see now the Licky Tongue, where I'm going to save my move for later on, because if they're going to shield it, I think it's going to do more damage than the Thunderbolt from my Deoxys, but now I'm going to be able to pressure my opponent with my charge moves here, and this should be a game that I cannot lose anymore, especially as I hit this move here now against them and I can get to another Psycho Boost. So yeah, this is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on the video. It helps me out way more than you think, and I hope I see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.